It's been a rough week for the world's largest contract chip maker. Taiwanese semiconductor giant TSMC has seen dropping profits alongside setbacks in building its new high-profile manufacturing plant in the U.S.
Back here at home, the massive microchip plant constructed by a Taiwanese company is hitting roadblocks.
TSMC says its second factory in Arizona will now be operational in 2027 or 28. The previous expectation was a 26 start date. So this marks another setback for the world's largest chip maker and its role in President Biden's bid to boost American manufacturing.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Beyond Borders Talk. Today, we're diving deep into a topic that's been making waves on the global stage: the delays and roadblocks of the construction of two Arizona plants by the Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, TSMC, at a cost of $40 billion. To put in context, the Biden administration, which took office in January 2021, has continued with calls to bring advanced technological manufacturing back to the United States, particularly regarding the semiconductor industry. The CHIPS and Science Act was a major piece of legislation aimed at boosting U.S. semiconductor manufacturing to avoid reliance on foreign manufacturers. The CHIPS and Science Act is set to bolster U.S. leadership in semiconductors. The CHIPS and Science Act provides $52.7 billion for American semiconductor research, development, manufacturing, and workforce development. This includes $39 billion in manufacturing incentives, including $2 billion for the legacy chips used in automobiles and defense systems, $13.2 billion in R&D and workforce development, and $500 million to provide for international information communications technology security and semiconductor supply chain activities. That being said, U.S. politicians have sometimes touted the CHIPS Act as a potential avenue for cooperation between the United States and Taiwan, as former Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi did during her August 2022 visit to Taiwan. Shortly before the Tulin ceremony took place, TSMC announced that it would be building a second fab in the United States for 3nm processes, scheduled to come online in 2026. This will increase TSMC's investment in the U.S. to $40 billion, making this one of the largest foreign investments in American history. Now back to the news of the day. Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company announced another delay to its $40 billion site in Arizona, dealing a further blow to the Biden administration's plans to boost manufacturing of critical components on U.S. soil. Executives said their second plant in Arizona, whose shell is now being built, will start operations in 2027 or 2028, later than TSMC's prior guidance of 2026. That's after the company in July announced a delay to the first site, now due to start making 4nm chips only in 2025, citing a lack of skilled labor and higher costs. Our overseas decisions are based on customer needs and the necessary level of government subsidy or support, Chairman Mark Liu said during TSMC's earnings conference in Taipei on Thursday. The company's upbeat outlook for the year drove a rally in chip stocks across Asia on Friday, with TSMC shares up as much as 6.3%. Previously, TSMC had said it will make 3nm chips at the second factory, which is expected to be more advanced than the first in Arizona. But on Thursday, the company said that incentives from the U.S. government will help determine how advanced the tech inside will be, adding uncertainty to the project's outcome. Because of the setback with the first fab, TSMC has delayed its second factory too, according to Chief Financial Officer Wendell Huang. The Taiwanese chipmaker is in talks with the U.S. government about incentives and tax credits, Liu said. He also reiterated TSMC was working with the local union and trade partners in the state. The company has faced resistance to plans to bring in technicians from Taiwan for the construction project. Pushing back the start of the second fab could mean a delay of as much as 2 years, time enough for semiconductor tech to advance by one generation. More than a year after U.S. President Joe Biden signed the CHIPS and Science Act into law, which is supposed to provide tens of billions of dollars in subsidies to chipmakers expanding in the U.S., the administration has yet to hand out any grants to major chipmakers like TSMC or Intel Corporation. It has so far only provided some modest financial support to two minor industry players. By contrast, TSMC publicized its plans for a more modest plant in Japan later than its Arizona project, but it has already received funds from the Japanese government. The facility is on track to start production in late 2024, according to the latest update the company provided. In conclusion, the delays and roadblocks faced by Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company (TSMC) in the construction of its two Arizona plants, despite the ambitious $40 billion investment, underscore the challenges in reshoring semiconductor manufacturing to the United States. The Biden administration's efforts through the CHIPS and Science Act aimed at bolstering domestic semiconductor manufacturing face setbacks, as major grants are yet to be distributed to key players like TSMC and Intel. The delays in the Arizona plants, coupled with TSMC's successful progress in Japan with government support, highlight the importance of effective collaboration between the industry and government for the success of such initiatives. The fate of TSMC's second factory in Arizona now hinges on negotiations with the U.S. government for incentives and tax credits, introducing uncertainty into the project's timeline and technological advancements. As the global semiconductor landscape continues to evolve, the challenges and decisions surrounding TSMC's investment in the U.S. will likely have significant implications for the semiconductor industry's future in the country. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Until next time, stay curious.